yours.
It was on just the insurance one. That's fine, as long as it's in the insurance one. Hi, everyone. Okay, we're back. So there was a delay, so we thought we were not live, so we had to start all over again. But we're back. Okay. So, like I said earlier this week, we started off Monday. It was crazy. We had the first snowstorm of the season, la primera nevada del año.
Yep.
And nobody was ready for what was coming, right? I think they were kind of anticipating, but not quite to the magnitude that we actually ended up getting the amount of snow. And I think it showed up a little earlier than what we were expecting. It was right after the long holiday weekend. I don't think anybody was ready for it. So it is what it is, pero we know, pues, nos metieron un buen susto, especially for those of you that are driving around with that proper insurance. Call us. Call us, Don't wait until there's a storm and it's a little too late, because our job is to help you be insured, properly insured. And so today we kind of wanted to talk también a little bit about some new stuff we have going on. Vamos a tener algunas cosas nuevas aquí en la agencia. Y una de ellas es que entrando el año, I'm still kind of like getting all the information, we're still going through all the training and stuff like that. So vamos a estar ofreciendo las inscripciones para Medicare Advantage y también vamos a estar ofreciendo las inscripciones para Marketplace Health Insurance. So we'll be able to offer you that as well. So we're working on all the training and learning everything we need to do the health insurance side of it. So próximamente, en las próximas semanas, en los próximos días, we will be up and running to offer health insurance in addition to what we already offer: auto insurance, home insurance, workers' compensation,
General liability,
life insurance. We have life insurance too, guys. Don't forget about that. So we're going to be going full force here. It's a lot of information, so we've been kind of going through the process of getting familiar, getting the new contracts también con the insurance carriers, because eso también toma tiempo. Entonces, si ustedes cotizaron con nosotros maybe at the beginning of last year, January, April, March, we did not have all the carriers that we have now. So feel free to reach out to us para que les ofrezcamos una nueva cotización. Estoy segura que ahora tenemos opciones que les pueden ayudar a ahorrar bastante dinero en la mensualidad de sus autos. Pero quiero que Giselle les explique. Sorry, I go back and forth, but most of you that follow me are bilingual, so I think it's okay, right? Y lo que no me entienden, pues, eso los voy a tratar de explicar. So either, whether in English or Spanish, I know some of you are bilingual, but not everyone, so we'll try to be as bilingual as possible. Pero Giselle, tell us why it's important to keep your insurance. A veces we're shopping y decimos, no, es que me hizo enojar esta compañía porque no me sacaron el pago cuando era, X razón. Casi siempre cuando vienen con nosotros es porque se enojaron con su compañía actual y quieren buscar otra opción, ya sea que le subieron, pero a veces reaccionan en el momento y cancelan en ese instante y se esperan unos días y nos llaman, y eso es malo. ¿Por qué es malo, Giselle?
So when you have insurance, it kind of works like a credit score. When you have a lapse of coverage, it affects your insurance premiums and how insurable you are and how likely you are, how much of a risk you are as an insured person with the company. So when you have consistent coverage, whether it's a day or 30 days, those things tend to count against you. When you're applying for a new insurance and they're looking and saying, oh, why were you without insurance for a day? Well, yeah, you got mad at your prior insurance carrier, but you went without insurance for a day, and that makes you a higher risk. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure, even if you want to cancel right then and there, make sure you get a new policy first that's started. Mm-hmm. You can say, I want to start it Friday, and it's going to start Friday, but if you go right after you talk to your new agent and say, I have a new policy starting Friday, I want to cancel this policy now, and they're going to cancel it right then and there, not on Friday. You want to make sure it's canceled once your new policy starts. because a lot of times too that if you don't say exactly what you want when you want it canceled, they'll end up just canceling the day
Yeah.
you ask for them to cancel.
Ya, eso es importante que antes de que cancelen su póliza actual, si están molestos o dicen, no, no se me hace justo, antes de que cancelen, asegúrense de llamarnos primero o a la persona que le quieren llamar y asegurarse de que primero consigan la póliza nueva antes de cancelar, porque eso les puede causar problemas. Uno, puede causar que no le quieran ofrecer una aseguranza. Segundo, puede causar que les cobren una tarifa más alta, porque es como una penalidad, porque dicen, esa persona no es constante, no mantiene su seguro constante y activo siempre, entonces eso lo ven como algo contraproducente, es una tacha en su record que estén cancelando y reactivando y cancelando y reactivando, eso no es bueno. Pero si usted mantiene su cobertura 6 meses, la paga a tiempo y continúa, entonces en 6 meses ya estableció como una conducta de que sí soy buena paga, sí soy constante, mantengo mi aseguranza, y entonces usted puede ya aplicar con otra nueva aseguradora y pedir, y ahí es donde tiene posibilidades de tener mejor rate, mejor precio, más descuentos, pero es importante, sí se puede cambiar a media póliza, pero la idea es que por favor no la cancelen hasta que ya tengan algo asegurado, como dijo Giselle. Si van a cancelar, digamos, van a comprar una nueva para el viernes, entonces asegúrense de que su aseguranza esté activa hasta el viernes. Aunque digan, no, es que ya se me va a renovar y no quiero renovar, well, that's okay, porque en la mayoría de los casos le van a reembolsar esos días que no usó. Por ejemplo, si le van a cobrar los 2 días que extendió, pero los 2 días después de eso puede que le reembolsen. La mayoría de las aseguradoras sí lo van a reembolsar. No le puedo garantizar que todas, porque puede haber que haya una que por X razón, pero el 99% de las aseguradoras que vemos siempre les dan un reembolso. Si usted avisa y cancela, le dan la diferencia de lo que no se usó para ese mes. Y pues, ¿qué otros tips tenemos para las aseguranzas? Hay compañías que nosotros usamos que traen buenos precios y ayudan tanto a las familias que tienen choferes con estatus mixto. Con eso quiero decir, por ejemplo, alguien que tiene licencia americana y alguien que en la familia que tiene licencia internacional, digamos, o que viene de otro país, right? Entonces, platícales un poquito de eso.
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
So, like how we have carriers que sí trabajan con familias con seguro, sin seguro, si hay familias que uno tiene chofer. O sea, hay compañías que, aunque ninguno tenga licencia, pueden, let me retract that. Hay compañías que si usted tiene licencia internacional, licencia mexicana, que no tiene licencia americana porque no tiene seguro, pero tiene ITIN, hay compañías que le pueden ayudar. Hay compañías también donde puede tener alguien con licencia y alguien con licencia internacional, y tienen mejores precios que las que solamente son especialidades.
They're the preferred for a lot. We have several companies that.
Uy, es que se cayó la patita que le habíamos puesto.
We have companies that their preferred is non-standard licensed drivers, so foreign operators, international operators. They give a really good rate for those type of drivers.
Yeah. So sí.
Sorry, it took me a while to figure out what I was confused with for a second.
y traigo hasta el punto porque hay ciertas compañías que se especializan en solamente ese tipo de cliente, ¿no? Porque como cultura tenemos la costumbre que decimos, es que quiero lo más sencilla, la segura más sencilla, nada más por si me para la policía, quiero traer un comprobante. So hay compañías que a eso se dedican. Pero entonces llegamos en el momento que que se hace un reclamo y nos ponen muchas trabas, ¿no? Entonces, hay compañías que dicen, no, sí te va a salir más cara desde un principio, pero haces un reclamo y así te hacen tu reclamo, ¿no? Entonces, es como siempre dice, lo barato sale caro y lo caro, pues,
You get what you
you
pay
get what you
for.
paid for. Entonces, nosotros aquí tratamos de tener opciones para todos, a diferentes compañías, la que sea mejor. Cuando usted nos llama y viene con nosotros, nosotros hacemos el trabajo por usted de comparar los precios y las coberturas con diferentes compañías. Usted lo puede hacer, pero usted nos puede dejar a nosotros y nosotros podemos contactar varias compañías porque somos brokerage, no estamos blindados, o ¿cómo se dice? No tenemos exclusividad con una agencia, tenemos varias compañías con las que podemos trabajar y nosotros nos encargamos de esos procesos para que usted nos llama. Muchas personas nos llaman a la hora del lonche y nos dicen, aquí está mi licencia, aquí está la información de mi carro. Para las 4:30, 5 que salen del trabajo ya les tenemos varias opciones. Tengo esta opción, ¿cuál te gusta más? También aceptamos walk-ins, pueden también venir a hacer walk-ins. Al principio del video les comentaba que ya vamos a estar ofreciendo Marketplace y Medicare Advantage Programs. También vamos a ofrecer seguros de salud. Y quería platicar un poquito, ahora que se acerca la temporada de taxes, sobre las personas que tienen actualmente su Marketplace. Porque algo que se ve muy frecuente ya a la hora que están haciendo sus taxes es que algunas personas, digamos, empezaron el año sin un trabajo, right? Y como entraron con Marketplace, tenían su aseguranza de Marketplace, enero, febrero, marzo, y luego en abril ya agarraron un trabajo, agarraron su aseguranza por el trabajo, pero se les olvidó avisar a Marketplace y cancelarla, right? Entonces, cuando ustedes agarraron esa aseguranza de Marketplace, pues la pidieron cuando no tenían trabajo o no tenían suficiente ingresos para pagar un seguro. El Marketplace les estaba o dando el seguro gratis o les estaban dando subsidios, ayudándoles a pagar la premium para que ustedes tuvieran ese seguro de salud. Y eso fue basado al ingreso que usted reportó con la aplicación inicial, right? Entonces, ya en abril, que agarró el trabajo y agarró la cobertura, cambió su situación económica y muchas personas se les olvida llamar a Marketplace y avisar de ese cambio económico, porque ya ese trabajo muchas veces ya lo hace inelegible o quizás siga siendo elegible, pero ahora le toca pagar de su bolsillo, le toca pagar más. Pero usted no avisó al Estado, el Estado siguió pagando la aseguranza por usted. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Al fin de año, cuando hace su declaración de taxes, a usted le va a llegar una carta que es la 1095A. Esa 1095A es la que reporta todo lo que usted recibió en ayuda de sus premiums. Eso se le llama el Premium Tax Credit. Entonces, cuando se hace ese reporte, entonces se hace la calculación, porque la IRS se encarga de recuperar fondos que se pagaron de más que no se tenían que haber pagado. Entonces, ya cuando se meten esos números, pueden decir, ay, mira, tú ganaste más de lo que correspondía para calificar para lo que recibiste, entonces ahora te va a tocar pagar para atrás ese dinero. Entonces, es muy importante que si ustedes empezaron el año con el Marketplace, pero cambió su situación económica, repórtenlo porque les va a poder impactar cuando hagan su declaración de impuestos al próximo año. Y si usted tiene la 1095A, tiene que traerla a hacer su declaración porque la IRS tiene la información y si nosotros procesamos su declaración, nos la rechazan automáticamente. Entonces es importante que esa 1095 en cuanto le llegue, la guarde y la traiga con usted cuando haga su declaración. ¿Qué quieres agregar? ¿Algo?
No, just a lot of clients last year told us they didn't have Marketplace. Y luego ya después que se fueron, we saw they got rejected and they had to come back and bring us back the form or send it to us.
Yeah, y mucha gente no dice, no, es que apliqué. A lot of people say, well, I applied for it, pero I never got it because they were charging me. Well, even if you didn't use it, and they still allowed it to you, you're still going to get the form and you might still owe some money. And so it'll say on there how many months they paid. So please make sure that if you have Marketplace and when you got it, you didn't have a job or you were making less, then you got a job and you started making more money, make sure you report those changes to Marketplace so that they can adjust it. Because otherwise, if you continue to get the credits and you're no longer eligible, then when you come tax season, you're going to owe back that money that they gave you in extra funds. So please make sure that you are updating Marketplace with your new wages so that you're not hit with the surprise. Because I had a scenario once where a client had requested it when they got it. Neither her nor her spouse were working, right? So they were both getting the full credit on the Marketplace, and they forgot to report it. And then they both started working, and they forgot to report that change. So once they filed their taxes, I was getting back that they owed $20,000 to the IRS for the premium tax credit. They were not happy about that, but you know, it is what it is. That's what it's important. That's what's important. You know, all the forms that you get. Also, when you get your entrando al año, cuando empiezan a llegar las cartas, a lot of people are starting to get the IP pins. Eso nuevo, un pin que le están mandando a muchas personas para ayudar a prevenir el fraude, porque cada año pues aumenta las cifras de los fraudes que se hacen con las declaraciones de impuestos. Entonces el IRS está mandando sus números. Asegúrense de traérselos con ustedes cuando hagan su declaración, porque es de la manera de que el IRS verifica que usted es la persona que está declarando y que no es otra persona que se robó su identidad y está haciendo los taxes a nombre suyo, porque el IRS está tratando de pelear contra eso. So, a veces hay personas que vienen, nunca han tenido uno, pero por X razón el IRS dice, no, pues para procesarlo tenemos que verificar la identidad de esta persona y tienen que solicitar el IPN. Y lo puede hacer rápidamente por teléfono. Si le llegó y se le perdió, puede solicitarlo de nuevo. Pero si son cosas que demoran su declaración, entonces demoran su reembolso. Entonces, si usted viene ya listo con toda la información y ya viene prevenido de todas las cosas que necesitamos, entonces pues su declaración se puede procesar más rápido y usted recibir su reembolso con más tiempo. Is anybody on there? A ver, digan hello, saluden. Which one are you on? Are you on the insurance? Does anybody have any questions?
It's just us, me.
It's just us. Right now. Right now. Pues miren, les cuento que si tienen alguna pregunta o duda, if you guys want a free quote, feel free to give us a call. I'm going to just kind of recap in English because I know a lot of what I said right now was in Spanish, but it's important. Please make sure that you keep an eye out in January when the mail starts coming out. Start saving all your 1099s, all your W-2s. If you get a 1095A, if you get a 1095C, a 1095B, if you get the mortgage statements, make sure you're saving those. If you pay interest, like on a student loan, you're gonna get the student loan statement as well. Any interest you paid, if you got any dividends, if you sold any properties, you probably have some 1099s out there. If you got
any form, like any payments you made to your school directly, they'll send you a form too.
Yeah.
And I usually say if you got it in the mail and it looks like a tax document, just bring it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt for us to type it in.
Yeah, make sure you're bringing everything. Make sure if you got the IP pin, make sure you bring it with you. It'll be like a 5-digit pin. One thing to remember too, why it's important to bring those student documents. If you paid your school, some people are eligible for either the lifelong learning credit or the American Opportunity Credit. One of the credits is for those who are like in the 4-year college. If you're paying for your kids' tuition, there could be a credit there that you're eligible for. If you don't have a student, but let's say you are someone who is pursuing, a new career, doing new training, doing new classes, there's a lifelong credit. So for any classes that you're taking to improve your career, your skill set, you can get credits for that as well. So, if you took a tax course, if you took a class in, even for like, well, you know, if you're in real estate, a lot of the CE classes, you take them as credit as your business. But like, let's say you took an accounting class, you're going to school to be a medical assistant or a CNA, and you're paying out of pocket, there's credits that you can get for that. And if you did go to college and you have student loans and you're paying interest, there's also interest rates that you can take credits for. So, you know, if you're paying interest on your house, on your mortgage, there's a chance that you can take some of those credits. Sometimes the mortgage interest helps taxpayers. Also, especially like if you're a single filer and you have a home, definitely a lot of the single filers, because their standard deduction is lower, they usually get more advantageous credits if they have a mortgage. It's a case-by-case scenario, but sometimes even on the property taxes, you may not get relief on the federal side, but sometimes I've seen it give quite a bit of relief on the state side. So make sure you have your tax statements from your bank and your interest, because that can help keep money in your pocket. If you invested money, started a new business, you know. Speaking of which, I have a new project coming out for new small businesses. I have put together, well, I'm working on it still, but I'm putting together a bookkeeping workbook for small businesses. Something that I see here frequently is that we have a lot of small businesses that need help with bookkeeping, and bookkeeping is a specialized service. So I know sometimes our services are out of budget, and I want to help you all, but I can't work for free. But I still want to help you guys. So I came up with a solution. So I'm working on a workbook, and I'm also thinking of incorporating it with a class where I may do like a weekend workshop where I will do like 101 on bookkeeping to help you guys if you're a small business that you know you need bookkeeping, but your business is just not in the position to pay a couple $100 every month for bookkeeping, but you want to make sure you're doing things right, then this class will be for you. So it's going to be a one-time fee. I'm going to include your workbook, and then there's going to be an option where you can purchase like a monthly subscription membership to where you can have access to ask me questions for your bookkeeping. You'll be responsible for your bookkeeping, but I'm going to give you a guide, a step-by-step guide of how you can manage your business finances and how you can categorize everything. That way, when you go to your tax preparer, you are ready to go, because this is something that I know it's confusing, but tax preparation and bookkeeping are two different services. So as a small business owner, you know, sometimes I have small businesses that, you know, they're brand new, they have very minimal expenses. So we've been able to knock out your bookkeeping, like sitting in front of me in a couple of hours, because it was very simplified, right? There's minimal expenses. But some of you guys have more complicated stuff, and it's going to take more than a couple of hours, you know. And so I'm going to give you some tips on how to keep track of your expenses, also how to keep track of separating your personal expenses from your business expenses. That's something that I have to constantly remind everyone: do not use your business account for personal expenses. Get into the habit of always having both of your cards with you, your personal credit card, your personal debit card, and your business debit card. And if you go to Walmart and half of your purchases are for the business and half of the purchases are for your personal use, split it, make two different transactions, because that's going to save you a lot of headaches. Do not commingle your funds. If you are in a bad habit of commingling your funds and spending your personal expenses out of your business account, and you end up having an audit, the IRS can disqualify all your previous credits, and then you can owe money on every single expense. They can completely disqualify your expenses if they feel like you can't really tell the difference between them. So please, please, please start off the year right and separate your expenses, and sign up for my
receipts.
Yeah, keep all your receipts. And the workbook that I'm putting together, do you want to pass me a binder? When you sign up for the class, I'm going to give you, let me see who is that, a binder that it's going to show you how to categorize your expenses, right? So what I do is, I'm going to give you guys like a little sneak peek. So For my bookkeeping clients, each client has a binder. So I'm gonna give you guys each a binder for you to track yourself. I have invoices for them, and every month has its own envelope, and then we have, you know, a way to keep track of all the numbers. So if you sign up for my class, I'm putting it backwards because if you sign up for my class, you will get a binder with all the dividers by month with categories, so you know how to divide your expenses and keep track of everything. And so that way, for that year, all your documents for your business will be in one binder. And I'm going to help you have it set up to where if you have an audit, everything's there.
You
know,
just hand
everything's
them
there.
a binder.
You hand them the binder and you're good to go. So if you're interested in that class, let me know, message me. And I want to probably do it. I wanted to do it in December, but I don't know. But more than likely, I think by January, the first couple of weeks of January, I'll be ready with the binders and with the workshop to kind of guide you guys step by step. And so I was thinking of maybe doing a workshop that's, because every business category has different needs, right? So if I have a hair salon, their expenses may be a little bit different than like a food truck. And a food truck may have different expenses than a handyman. So I'm trying to decide if it would be more beneficial to have classes by categories, by industries, or if I should just have one generic one, but still have like a Q&A so where I can answer more individualized questions. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, but either way, it's gonna be happening. And there's gonna be a one-time fee, but like I said, it'll come with the workbook and you'll come out of there knowing a lot more than you probably already know about how to track your expenses. And like I said, bookkeeping is essential because you have to know what's coming in to your business, what's coming out of your business. And I know when you're first starting a business, the budget's tight, and even if you want to pay for a bookkeeper, you cannot always afford to be paying $300, $400, $500 a month for the service. And so I'm going to empower you by giving this course and offering you the binder. And then I also have an option for a monthly subscription, like a membership, where for a small fee, you'll be able to call me, text me, message me, and ask me questions. You know, because you may be like, I'm not sure if this is an expense that I can take. Because just because you purchase it, that doesn't mean it's an eligible expense.
Yeah.
To keep that in mind. Just because you have a receipt for it, that does not mean it's an eligible expense. So I just want to make sure you guys are doing this right. Get off track on the right foot, and you know, I want you guys to take advantage of as many tax breaks as you can. But there's also taxes we have to pay, you know. There are tax breaks, but there's also taxes we have to pay. And there's a lot of taxes out there. And, you know, if you're someone who sells retail, you have to deal with sales tax. If you're someone who sells alcohol, you still have your alcohol tax. If you have a business in Kansas, but you also do business in Missouri, you have two taxes for Kansas and Missouri. There's also like your individual taxes. A lot of people confuse individual taxes with with business taxes, and they confuse state taxes with federal taxes. They'll get a letter from the state and they think it's from the IRS, and they're like, Velia, didn't we already do this? And I'm like, yes, but this is from the state and it's from a different year. So there's a lot of different tax entities out there. Just on federal alone, IRS alone collects three taxes, because they collect the federal income tax, the federal unemployment tax, the Social Security tax, and the Medicare tax. And so just for federal, you're paying 4 taxes. That's not counting the Kansas taxes. That's not even counting your municipal taxes. So there's a ton of taxes out there that you need to know about if you're a business owner. Make sure you're covering your bases in all of them, and even on a personal level, like I said, a lot of people don't even understand the difference, you know, like even on the W-4s, are they even taking out enough money? I see so many people owe taxes or end up with no refund at the end of the year because throughout the year, their employer was not withholding enough money, and it was simply because, one, the W-4 was not properly completed. So they didn't take out enough money throughout the year. So at the end of the year, your tax refund that you were expecting is not there. So there's a lot of strategy and ways, but you're still gonna have, everybody has to pay taxes. People think, oh, if I'm W-2, I don't pay taxes. Yes, you do. If you look at your pay stub, you see all the deductions. Self-employed people just feel like they pay more just because they are the ones that have to separate that money, and they're the ones who have to write that check out. So it feels more painful when you're the one that sees in one lump chunk how much you're paying. But if you're a W-2 employee, you're paying just as much. The only difference is your employer is taking it out a little bite at a time, and your employer is also matching your taxes. When you're self-employed, you don't have that matching from your employer, so it does seem like a little bit more because there's no matching. But I think, knowledge is power, so the more you know and the better you understand your taxes, the better, smarter choices you can make about your finances and save money. So I think that's all I have, Jill. What do you have? Oh, we got a new workers' comp company?
I'm sorry, yeah, we did. We've got access to more workers' comp companies now. So if we've previously quoted you for workers' comp, or your renewal's coming up and would like another quote, we can definitely do that. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was something I wanted to touch base on, but I can't.
Well, there's something I want to talk about that she doesn't want me to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. Where'd it go? You hit him.
Oh, I don't know where I put them. Oh, I see them.
I see them. You see them? Where are they? Where are they? Where'd you hide them? ¿Dónde los pusiste?
They're like right there.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, los vi. Okay.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Giselle has her crafty side hustle, and she is selling these little cute elves. They're personalized. You could put your kid's name, and it's got this year. So if you would like to order one from her, she's selling them for $6 a piece. She's got the boys and the girls. These are the girls. These say Lorenzo, Julian, and Lorenzo. We got 3 Lorenzos. So they're really cute. There's the girl ones too that have the little skirt. Thank you to everyone who placed their orders with Giselle. And I put you can message her, inbox her, and when's the deadline to place your orders?
I haven't had a deadline. What's the third?
No.
Let's say like
Today's the 3rd, right?
so like by the 18th.
December 18th is the cutoff. Do you have enough elves? Or while supplies last, no?
Yeah,
So the
while supplies
18th
last.
Or while supplies last, because sometimes they sell out the little monitos. So call her, message her, inbox her. You can message her at her page at, ¿cómo se llama? Giselle?
Oh. It's, Giselle Cecilia.
Giselle Regalado, right?
Yeah, Giselle Cecilia. I think it has my middle name
Middle
in there.
name?
But yeah, just, you can send a message to this office too.
Yeah, you can message her.
I look at the messages, so you can just send them
Yeah,
here
she
if
has
you're
access.
interested. So yeah.
¿Qué más? So yeah, if you need a free quote, give us a call. Even if we quoted you before, chances are we can save you money now.
Yes.
And but yeah.
I feel like so awkward today. I can't. I'm like here, but I'm not here.
Here but not here. You just feel like we're talking to ourselves, huh? You're not used to this.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I wanted to see on Facebook to see.
You see yours? Or
Yeah, go to see if
or
we're still
the-
live.
Oh, right here. No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, we are.
Well, I haven't cut this off. We should still live. Pícale.
Take it off?
No, I said pícale.
Oh.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Oh, I got like
And
3
give us
chins.
a call. We're still live, you know that. Give us a call if you're interested in getting a free no obligation quote. Llámenos para una. Y si tienen, ahí nos guachamos. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.